All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. As always, I'm your host, Adam Smith, with Just the Tips Coaching. This is going to be an interesting episode. We're kicking off just a minute or two late, and we'll certainly keep the flow going as it is. But this is going to be really interesting. So I've got a repeat guest for you guys today, a wonderful real estate agent. She's also in the Colorado market, and we were having just a hair of technical difficulties, but let's bring her on and see how the flow goes. Welcome back to the show, Anne Singleton. Hi, Anne. Oh, we can't hear you though. You're muted, or your microphone's not working. So no, we are not past our technical difficulties, but this is so cool that we have somebody in their car. It's really rare that we have that. We have her kiddo behind her waving. I know a lot of you only get this via the podcast and not the video cast, so the visual of her daughter behind us won't be anywhere near as much fun for those of you on the listening on the podcast rather than watching the video cast. But yeah, Anne, we can hear you. I don't know what that is. You're not muted on our end, and I did see you mute yourself and unmute yourself, and I don't know if we're doing earbuds or if you're using the mic on your phone, but we'll try to stall as best we can until we can get Anne's audio kicking in here. Just for giggles, I'm going to go ahead and mute and unmute Anne just to see if that works, and no luck there. So Anne's going to tinker with her audio settings in the StreamYard app or web page and see if she can't get her microphone set to where we can hear her. It's funny because she's in the car is moving. It's like watching a movie for those of you that are catching this live. And then of course her little one is behind her in the back seat. So this is really cool stuff. So you guys may just get a half hour of us watching Anne. Oh, now I can hear Anne.
Does that work?
Yeah, now we can hear you. This will be interesting.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, so you guys are going to the airport.
We are. So we had we were visiting my parents, and we had extended our trip. And of course, I did not plan this very well, so I apologize in advance.
Well,
but
where
I'm
are
here.
you? Okay, where is here?
Florida. We were in Florida visiting my parents for the holiday. Yes.
Okay.
Missed a lot of things.
Happy holiday.
Thank you, and to you.
And you had missed a lot of things. So right off the bat, because we've had you on the show before, and for those of you that want to go back and find the past episode or episodes that we've done with Anne, then feel free to do that. But Anne, how long have you been out of town? When did you leave and go to Florida?
A week. It's been a week.
And I think we all know that there are a couple of really important pieces when we're out of town for a week, particularly in the real estate and mortgage business. One is that we should automatically expect for business to increase because we're not in a position where we're used to regularly handling it, and it did. And then and the other piece of this, because we've probably discussed a little bit of team structure in the past. What goes on while Anne is out of town? How do all of your clients and buyers and sellers and referral partners and colleagues handle that? How do you deal with a week out of town?
Well, first of all, you have to really analyze your boundaries because you won't have them while you're out of town, period.
Fair enough.
I was on my phone, tablet, and laptop about 5 hours a day, roughly. So you can still handle everything. I had boots on the ground. My husband and I had 3 closings down. So those are all covered by a colleague that is near and dear to us. And other than that, I was pretty much available 24/7. And you just kind of do what you got to do. But at least, you're doing it by the pool with your parents instead of in your office. So most of my clients didn't even know I was out of town. It's on a need to know basis so that nothing feels to them like a ball is getting dropped.
Well, now we all know, but good news, Anne is on her way back. Oh, we've got a terrible connection with Anne doing this over the cell phone on her car well, probably a rental car, I'm guessing, but the video is obviously lagging a bit. So if you can still hear us, Anne, I guess the question I have, you had referred to this trusted colleague that you have here, boots on the ground. Is that another agent? Is it a TC? Is it a licensed assistant? What does that look like?
I have a licensed assistant, and I also have 4 colleagues that we kind of do things for each other all the time. And you have to have such good coverage because you could lose a client in a heartbeat if you don't have the proper coverage. If anything skips a beat, it just hangs on you. And I think that every real estate agent and their spouses and their family members know what it takes to do this job. Like, they have to just know. I mean, I fielded a phone call during my C-section with my firstborn. So that's the level of which sometimes it takes.
During a C-section, you fielded a work-related real estate call.
I did.
Okay, I don't know that we're going to find any.
But yes, it was prior to that. I was heavily drugged, and a closing just happened to get moved to the day of my C-section. Not because of anything we wanted, but it was just something that happened. And I can't say to my person, well, I'm having a baby during that time. It was like, call me if you need me. And so being rolled in to the OR, I took a call. So it's something you just have to do sometimes. So, you know,
that is a level of commitment that is so far above and beyond anything we've heard or witnessed. We joke all the time about how, Americans will put an out of office message like, hey, I'm having surgery at 8 in the morning. I'll be back in the office at noon. And the Europeans are like, I'm, wrapping things up in April. I'll be back in September, kind of thing. So yeah, that kind of takes it to a whole new level. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not a joke. Anne literally fielded a call during a closing for one of her clients, a buyer or a seller, I don't know. As she was being rolled in for a buyer, she was being rolled into the operating theater to have a C-section. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I tell that story often because it was true.
That is pretty wild. And is that the child that was delivered at that moment, the one that we get to see sitting behind you?
Nope, that was my firstborn. That was my thirdborn. But he's in here.
Oh,
there he is.
Yes, we understand that. It's been a long trip for everyone.
Right.
It's awesome. Okay, so I do think that that's a big deal, but give us a little bit more structure to it. There are 4 licensed agents, and you guys obviously do the heavy lifting for each other when somebody's gone. Maybe even now, if it were somebody being rolled into an operating theater, that might occur. Okay. And there's a licensed assistant that serves you guys as well.
Correct.
And there's probably also some support ops type of people going on in there, transaction coordinators and assistants, these kinds of things. Give us a rundown of how that, not family tree, but work family tree looks.
Yeah. So our transaction coordinator is the spinal column of our job. She is able to do anything on the computer side, the organization side, the contract side. I mean, she's basically our right hand for almost everything. Like if I call her in the middle of the day and say, I need an amendment for blah, 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 she'll have it in my inbox in 20 minutes. I mean, that's the level that we need, if that makes sense. And We also have multiple partners that are people that are top producers that are kind of equal in magnitude, kind of equal into what they produce, because you have to have someone who produces at the same level as you to cover for yourself. And the problem with that is those people are typically very, very busy. So we really make an effort to help each other when we're out of town. My partner that was helping me this week, her mother sadly passed away in November, and I took over a lot of things for her during that period of time. And you just have, it takes a village to get these things to closing. It honestly does. I mean, it is the level of structure that you need when you travel increases by about 100%, because for some reason it just doesn't work without a huge team. So I've got my partners that can do things like showings, and then you have your team of preparers like your photographer, your stager, and all of these people are on board, available on Easter at 11. I mean, it just sometimes there's not a choice there, and you have to line it up before you leave, and you just have to have all of your ducks in a row, lots of wine delivered to the appropriate parties, and making sure that everyone is happy, feeling appreciated, and can mostly get the work done.
Okay.
It's like putting out a fire every day.
Lots of planning, lots of organization, and lots of alcohol.
Yep.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay. That's
not
that's the recipe.
in that order.
Right. Wow. Okay. Hey. No, it probably is in that order, knowing what we know about you. There's no question with that. For those of you that don't know, we've obviously got some guidelines. We do some vetting, certainly not only with first-time guests, but even more so with repeat guests. So when you guys are getting, for lack of a better term, lip service from one of our guests, they're speaking gospel. They really know their stuff. So when they are laying out the kinds of things that you guys can or should do in order to, be in a position where you could jaunt off for a week to Florida and have technology and people in place in order to make sure that the machine keeps going, then that's what we're actually talking about. And that brings me to another subject, although, and I'm really big on this one. In fact, I was doing some work. I've been spending a lot of my time as of late dealing with a family issue, an ailing grandparent, and hospitals and rehabs and the emergency room on a couple of occasions, etc., over about a month now, I guess, and that will continue. But I've been able to get some work done from the hospital, from the rehab center. I'll do more of that again this week, and I'm really big on the technology. In fact, I used to post a lot of technology hardware solutions that I'm using, whether it's multiple screens for my laptop or things, software pieces that I use to remote into my office computer, or cell phone battery extenders, earbuds, whatever it is. So do you have any of your absolute favorite technology pieces that help you when you are mobile to make that machine keep going?
My hotspot is my lifeline.
Okay.
Like I'm writing contracts in cars. I'm pulled over on the side of the road to type something that has a deadline of an hour. I had a deadline this week that I had to have something in the MLS within an hour, and I had a hotspot, thank goodness, to get that done. I mean, we're taking calls and fielding things everywhere, on the side of the road, in a parking lot. Sometimes I pull up to a friend's house that I'm in their neighborhood and use their internet on the front porch, because You oftentimes don't have any options. I mean, you just, as my grandmother always say, you do what you got to do, and that's what we do. Like if I have to sit in a McDonald's parking lot to get something done that has a deadline, or the thing is in real estate, and as you know, um, things have a timeline. Like your mom can't say to you, you can put the phone down, it'll be okay. Like you can get this done later. You can't. Oftentimes you can't. And otherwise it's to the detriment of your client, which you can't afford, or what I would never let happen. So you have to have that well-oiled machine where you can work from anywhere.
So tell us technologically, what's the hotspot? Are you tethering off your phone? Do you have a separate device off your phone?
I have a phone and I have an iPad. My iPad gets slightly stronger hotspot coverage, which makes no sense. And then I have my husband's hotspot. And between the three of those things, somebody can get it done, which is good.
Okay.
I use earbuds, but I feel like the connection is often lost. So I put my phone on speaker all of the time while I'm typing and doing things, and then I would consider my assistant also my technological advantage, even though she is human, because she behaves as a superhuman robot, basically. I mean, I wouldn't survive without her. If she ever leaves me, I will cry my eyes out.
That's quite a nod to your assistant. Very cool. Just from a technological standpoint, I'll do you one better. My laptop has its own SIM card.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a Mac?
No, I'm a grown-up. It's a Samsung. Everything I
use
is a Samsung. Yeah, so everything.
It's
phone,
Droid.
Watch, computer, Chromebook. Yeah. It's an Android operating system. Well, no, the laptop is a Windows operating system. I think it is Windows 11 at this point. But it is a Samsung laptop, and yeah, it has a SIM card slot in it. So I walked it into T-Mobile, is who I use for cell phone service, and I said, hey, I need a SIM card with nothing but an unlimited data plan, and they gave it to me, and I popped it in, and that's the end of that.
No need. That everywhere. Then.
Well, as long as it's same as if you would have a cell phone connection, but
right.
No need for Wi-Fi or a hotspot.
That's amazing.
Oh, look at that. Revolutionary right there. All right. So, yeah, that's certainly a big one. Depending on where I'm traveling, and I can't really show you guys all of this right now, and obviously the vast majority of you are on the podcast anyway, I have a Xebec, that's spelled with an X, X-E-B-E-C, triple monitor set up for my laptop. So I clip that onto the laptop screen, and it slides out two screens, one on either side. So I do get a really large range of vision. At home and office, I use 50-inch monitors. They're on a split screen system, so that, well, that came to pass because of my eyes going to shit as I got older, not because of the ability to get more work done. Yeah, I just needed to see the work that I was getting done.
Right.
But yeah, that triple monitor setup is a lifesaver, no question. The laptop having its own SIM card is certainly a wonderful piece of the puzzle. And then, yeah, obviously all of the other technology when it comes to a wireless mouse and a full-size keyboard and earbuds that bounce Bluetooth between my laptop and my phone. So I can hear, listen, talk, whatever. But yeah, I would say the biggest piece of that puzzle is having a SIM card in my laptop that enables me to
I'm getting one.
Log on anywhere.
So you could do that. I'm getting one. That would save everything.
The only regret I have about it now is that laptop is a 13-inch monitor. And as I get older and my eyes deteriorate, I have noticed that my reading glasses go up in magnification quicker with the little monitor than they would otherwise. But that's really about the big piece of the technological puzzle. So I do think that it's important to also understand that if we're going to go for a week, and not with the same kind of planning or preparation as that cruise we planned a year ago kind of thing, that it is important to understand that we're going to have to do some work during the day.
Every day.
I think that's a big piece of the puzzle. I do spend quite a bit of time, or maybe not so much as of late, but I have spent a lot of time in Surfside Beach, South Carolina. So
Okay.
Eastern time zone.
Yep.
And I do kind of shift my own schedule to stay on mountain time when I'm in the Eastern time zone, which is nice because I'm usually at my desk about 7 in the morning. So I can sleep in a little bit when I'm on the East Coast, because that's now 9, which is wonderful. And as you know, a lot of the job is talking on the phone. Here's a list of what could very well be 100 phone calls I've got to make today.
Yep.
And I can literally take that list and my phone and my earbuds and just walk up and down the beach.
Yep.
Rather than, being planted in my chair at my desk, which my Samsung watch, also loves, because I already got the message today that was basically something to the effect of, hey, fat ass, how about you stand up and walk around for a little bit? You've been parked in your chair for 2 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get my steps in, get a little bit of sun, and still get that work done. And then rather than commute home from the office, I'll go jump in the pool or in the ocean.
Correct.
Which are both, either 50 feet or 500 feet away, respectively. So it's really nice to be able to make that shift, still stay on my relatively regular mountain time schedule.
Right.
And just kind of postpone my day a couple hours, which almost feels like a little bit of vacation.
It does. It feels like vacation. To me, vacation feels like sitting at the pool with a Bloody Mary and my laptop open. That's all the vacation I need. That's vacation enough for me.
Well, and the way you tell it, the liquor is a regular staple.
It's true.
So that's a normal work day. It's just at a different location.
Right. But I feel like I'm on vacation right away. The hardest part for me in traveling is the 3 to 7 hours that you're on an airplane, because I have to buy Wi-Fi a lot, because I need that 3 hours is like, I'm not allowed to have that 3 hours. Like, it's tough. On the way here, I had a closing going awry, and my partner was handling it, and I was like, I'm getting on the plane. And the agent was like, you need to get off your phone, and I'm thinking, oh my God, like, this happens every single time I step on a plane. Something goes amiss. Something just goes crazy and happens. So the hardest part about my trips is those moments that I'm unavailable.
So, obviously there are always going to be a lot of things that we just can't control. The number of flights I've been on where the Wi-Fi isn't functioning properly is innumerable. The thing about the Wi-Fi, and I pretty much use it the entire time I'm on an airplane, no matter what it is, where I'm going, any of those kinds of things. There are going to be some cheat codes, as it were, with your cell phone provider, whoever you're using. Odds are good they've got it. I think I get like 12 free flights a year with T-Mobile. I know that one of the airlines has a partnership with T-Mobile, so if you have both, if you're on T-Mobile and flying American or whatever it is, you're all set. Those kinds of things. Obviously we can't talk on the phone. That's an anomaly of it, and obviously a lot of the time it's just not going to work at all. There are plenty of they don't consider that critical. Cabin door won't shut, critical. Engine won't fire, critical. Wi-Fi not working, only for Adam and Ann is that critical. Everybody else is going to fly where they're going. Right.
They're going to read their books and have their cafes, and I'm going to be dying, sweating bullets.
Absolutely. And another piece of it is that a lot of the time, if you are using some kind of a mileage plan, you're racking up miles with whatever airline you're using. And I think we do it with all of them at this point.
Right.
Although we live in Denver, so primarily United. You're welcome, United. That you can actually use your miles for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Rather than spending money. Yeah, when you get
Okay.
onto an air like a United flight and there's Wi-Fi, the only places you're able to get to are really United's website.
Right.
So go
Right.
there, log in as you, then you can walk through the steps of asking it to connect you to the Wi-Fi. And for a lot of you, it will let you bounce back and forth between your laptop or your tablet or your phone. Just log in, say, move my Wi-Fi to this device, into multiple devices at the same time.
Right.
But you can bounce it around back and forth. And of course, one of the things we've all got to take into consideration is that it's slow as shit.
Yeah,
It's
that doesn't work for me.
it's one little satellite system, kind of
Right.
like you have your Starlink or whatever, but there are
Right.
200 people trying to access it.
It's like a cruise ship. A cruise ship,
Yeah.
I don't ever remember being as tortured as I have ever been on a cruise ship because
With
I was the
Wi-Fi.
person down at the deck every day, like, it's not working. I need this to work. And people are like, calm down. Nothing bad is happening. I'm like, yes, it is. You don't understand. I have to get on the internet right now. I was like,
Yeah.
what do you use? What does the captain use? Because that's what I need to use.
The boat's not leaking. It's really not mission critical, but same kind of thing. Yeah, I absolutely get it. And yeah, you know, it's funny because the only time I've done cruises, I really made it a very hard line. Those boundaries are stronger there than anything I ever thought. And I never thought that even my cell phone would work in some of these locations. I remember, God, decades ago, pulling into on a cruise ship, pulling into Mazatlan, and the safe in my cabin starts ringing because I had thrown my cell phone in there. I don't need it; it's not going to work.
Right.
And sure enough, the phone starts
Sure
ringing
enough,
in
they found you.
Mazatlan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm trying to figure out how to remember to get the safe open while the phone is ringing, and on and on. But yeah, and this is fantastic. We actually covered some fairly unique content. I know there are a few struggles getting this on. I cannot believe how long your drive to the airport is. I'm sorry about that. And for the rest of you, so be it. But Anne, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Still sucking it up and doing this from the rental car on the way back to the airport. It's been fantastic. We'll see what we can clean up in the audio from where your cell phone signal was a little droopy.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon would like me using the word droopy when it comes to their service. But hey, for whatever service Anne is on, T-Mobile, Verizon, get your act together. Verizon, get your act together with wherever Anne is in Florida here, because you know, she found a few dead spots there.
Sorry.
No, you did great. And we really got to cover some cool shit, and we gave out a really good bit of information to our audience today. Hopefully we get the audio cleaned up so that the podcast sounds smoother than our video cast. But thank you for doing it. And for the rest of you watching or listening live or in syndication, you can catch more fluid episodes of How I Met Your Mortgage on Mondays at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern, where Anne is now. And for all the other things, other episodes, you want to go see the one Anne did with us last, you want to catch the video blog, the weekly little tip, there are actually a lot of the things that we talked about today in my first book, also titled Just the Tips. If you guys want copies of the books, whatever, all that shit can be found at justthetipscoaching.com. So do that. And nothing but mad love. Travel safe. Take good care. We'll see you after you get back, and we'll get you on the books for another episode where you can be planted on a hard line. Otherwise, for the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. And we will see you next time with another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage.